Hello, you all. Welcome to this new edition of Lexio Musica, the place for great lyrics, great music, and great meaning. My name is Guilain Prince. I'm a Franciscan friar from Canada, and I love rock music since my teenage years. Still today, I listen to a lot of this music, not full time as I used to do, of course, but with you guys once a week. We look at closely to one song. We read carefully the lyrics. We listen to the musical construction of the song, and we try to understand what is the meaning of the song. So this time you are in the analysis video of a song called 10th Man Down. Let me give you the screen. 10th Man Down is a song by Nightwish. We are on a journey through their repertoire, 20 years of repertoire and more. This is the 20th reaction and 20th analysis. Now, let me tell you that last week we did Dead Boy's Poem, the 9th. Earlier this week, I have recorded the reaction video to that song. If you haven't seen that video, I suggest strongly that you go there and to listen to the song first and then come back here for the analysis of the song. I reacted to 3 versions: the studio version of 2001, a live version of 2002, and a live version of 2018. My first reaction to the studio version was not, I would say, enthusiastic, and I will be able to explain it first. But as I listened to it in the live versions, as well as since the recording, I listened to it maybe 2 or 3 times, I have to say that my opinion changed about the song. I really love it, really like it. So it's just to say that the first impression is not always the good one. Here, though, is the analysis of the same song in English. Don't forget that you can subscribe to the channel, and you will be notified as soon as there's a new video out if you push as well on the little red bell. Let's talk about the song now. 10th Man Down. This is something very difficult to say for a French francophone. I had problems as well with Dead Boy's Poem. This is the second song. The version I have is the second song from an album called Over the Hill and Sail. I think, is it Sail Away or Stay Away? It's certainly not Saw. It's not Saw Away. Special edition, mainly composed of live performances, but there are 3, as I can see, 3 original songs. One of them is the second one called 10th Man Down. The lyricist and composer is Tuomas Holopainen, and many fans of Nightwish didn't know this song until the Decade tour, because it's between 2 important albums. Wishmaster, you have Century, Child, and all of this kind of it's easy to miss it. In between, there's some kind of an album. It's not an EP. It's not a long. It's not an LP. Somewhere. The song begins with an intro, a simple intro, making these chords on the keyboard, and sometimes as well with the guitarist, the guitar and the bass, but not always. And these chords, they make a simple melody, and this melody will come back during the song. After the first cycle, you have the voice, what I call instrumental voice of Tarja Kaminin, A singing voice without words, doing the same melody. A third cycle comes, the full band is in full gear at this time, and it sounds very powerful. There you have the first words. Today I killed, he was just a boy. 8 before him, I knew them all. In the fields a dying oath, I'll kill them all to save my own. This is a very touching first verse. We are in the right in the middle of the battlefield. I don't know if they know each other because they grew up together and now they are enemies, or is it the friendship that even adversaries can have for the other side because we are in the same situation? So it happened many times. They can be your adversary, but you can still have a lot of respect for the other side. The guy is doing his job like you do your job, and but this job is killing people, and very often, as you know, the military service is, unless you make a career of it, like in Canada, we don't have military service, compulsory military service. It's a career like any other. So unless you make a career in your country, you will be there from 18 to 20, 21, 22 in most countries. Was just a boy, barely coming out of the teen age years. I ate before him, I killed them, I knew them all. In the field, a dying oath. And I think it's out of respect for both sides. I'll kill them all to save my own. It's pretty much, I would say, at one point, this is the only reason you can trigger the obedience from a soldier. It's you are there to protect your own, your family, your daughters, your wife, your husband. There is the chorus sung by the voice of Tarja. Cut me free, liberate me, cut me free, bleed with me, oh no. One by one we will fall down, down. Pull the plug and the pain, run and fight for life. Hold on tight, this ain't my fight. I don't know for you, but to me it sounds pretty much as words you would hear on the battlefield. Lines that we hear said spontaneously, liberate me, cut me free from this is like being in chain. Bleed with me. This is maybe, I'm not sure, it could be interpreted as well as finish me, cut me free, bleed with me. It could be that way as well, but I'm not sure it's the intention here, because it seems to me more like sentences said by soldiers in the course of battle. One by one we will fall down, down. Pull the plug, end the pain. This would be probably a sentence by a dying soldier. And run and fight for life, fight for your life. Go, go, go. This, for me, this line is for sure a dying soldier. So that's why I thought that the first one could be, but it could be something completely different. Hold on tight, you know this expression, to a dying soldier. Hold on tight. But for me, the key line of this chorus is, "This ain't my fight." And I will tell you why. There is what we call an inter. This is a kind of instrumental section between the chorus, a little bit of breathing space for the singers and for the musicians as well. It's made simply of one cycle of the intro, full band. Deliver me from this war. It's not for me, it's because of you. Devil's instant, my eternity. Obey to kill, to save yourself. It could be understood many ways, that chorus, and I want to read you about it. Deliver me from this war is the continuity, I think, of the topic we have in the chorus. So nothing surprising here. It's not for me, it's because of you. Now, I don't know how to understand that line. Deliver me from this war. It's not for me, it's because of you. So, to whom he's talking? Does he implore the chain of command, or the government, or someone? Deliver me from this war. It's not for me, it's because of you I'm here. I try to understand it well, and I find it difficult to find who he is talking to. It can be a very personal situation. Deliver me. What could be? It could be end my life. Not for me, it's for you, so that you can leave. You don't have to hold on to me, so that you can live. That would be then a repetition of something we found in the first verse and in the chorus. I don't know. What do you think? Devil's instant, the instant of the devils, with an S. What are the devils here? I wonder. And do you know that the etymology of devils is division? It's the fact that the people is divided. It's the fact that they become adversaries. So I would understand that as the opponent's instinct. They seem to win. They seem to be strong. The opponents, the adversaries, this seems to me endless, my eternity. I would not interpret this as being a positive eternity, as being the waiting time of the enemy coming to me and circling us and making the moment extremely painful. This is how I would understand this. Obey to kill, to save your life. Yeah. You don't have the luxury of deciding for yourself. In a chain of command, it's important that you keep the chain of command, and so that not only that you kill, but you save yourself, but you save all your fellow soldiers. Interesting. You know already the chorus. We won't repeat anything here. I just remind you that these words are said 4 times in that song. You have to understand them very, very well to understand the whole perspective of the song. So what you have here is, I will say it, ambivalence. There is a different opinion on wars. We will see which one seems to be more important. There's a moment of suspension in what seems to be a kind of a bridge. from the chorus to the spoken words. To me, it suggests the punch, the musical punch of the rhythmic section suggests to me gunshots. What do you think? And the powerful drumming of yucca. We can hear the drumming of yucca becoming more and more very deep, very profound, beautiful harmonics. His drums, they sound great. With a very steady bass, very strong. So, to me, it suggests two things. First, it suggests the gunshots, I said it already, but second, the hunt. There is a hunt here, and a hunt done by the military. It's not a hunt over a lone hunter. We will see there is this mindset somewhere else in the song, but here it's the collective hunt. I find this section very evocative. Now, the spoken voice of what seems to me the soldier. I envy the 9 lives that gave me hell, my path made up by their torn bodies. Man to man, soldier to soldier, dust to dust. Call me a coward, but I can't take this anymore. There is for me the answer of the devils, because there is hell. The war as being a hell, and the devil as being the opponent. But maybe the opponent is not always on the other side. Maybe sometimes among us there are devils. I envy the 9 lives. I'm sure he doesn't believe that a bit, but it's just to say that I really got enough of this. And maybe dying would be the better outcome. This is hell, living in hell. Because as we progress, torn bodies on the floor, I make my path out of these torn bodies. Man to man, soldier to soldier, dust to dust. We all understand that. Call me a coward if you want, but I can't take it anymore. And you remember in my reaction video, I said, why is he saying that with the whole paragraph is said with a very manly voice. But here he comes and he said, I can't take it anymore. And I wondered why this is said that way. And I think I understand very well. The guy is not a coward. He is not. So he speaks with a very manly voice. He's not a coward. He is simply in a situation intolerable. And he is saying, not as a coward, but I'm saying, I don't want to do this anymore. I can't take that anymore. And we will see why a little bit later. So now I understand why it's done like this, and I find it meaningful. Now there is the singing female voice, and she takes on like a relay. When we see these at the Olympics, the relay teams, she takes on. Why does the man can't take? So for me, in the soldier, there is still a human person. And for me, Tarja here comes in the battlefield, I will say, in a very male environment. There is this beautiful female voice coming here as a reminder that we are human. This is how I would interpret the decision to put Tarja back in here. And I find this combination of the male, very powerful male voice, and Tarja together speaking as one person is for me the human in the soldier. They wait for me far back home. They live with eyes turned away. They were the first one to see. They are the last ones to bleed. I find this paragraph challenging and interesting. They wait for me back home. Back home here might be my own parents, my family. They wait for me, but it can be my country. Okay, they all wait for me back home. They live with eyes turned away. Now, why the eyes are turned away? Away from what? From the battlefield. They don't want to see what's happening there. And why is that so? Why is that so? We will see a little bit later. They were the first one to see. Is the experience of the battlefield for these generation, for people in my home, so painful that they don't want to look at reality today? Or is it that they don't want simply to face reality? So these could be two answers why they turn away their it can be the pain of an experience they already had, or it could be not wanting to see the bad things done by our country. You see, it could be the both of them. But one thing is true here. They are the last ones to bleed. Now, I think there's something here about maybe the generals, or maybe my country, not being directly involved on the battlefield. And from afar, they make sure that we are there, but they are the last one to bleed. So they take decision away from the suffering of the battle. I think this is how I would read it. So personally, I would read it to be the country, not only the immediate family of the soldier, but being home, being my country, the country in general, and the previous generation of soldiers surviving all this. Did they forget about this? We will see that it's the point of another paragraph. Now, within a very military-like march, so there, the battle, we are in the battlefield. The spoken, very male voice comes back. The ultimate high, as all beautiful dies, ruler's tool, priest's excuse, tyrant's delight. I alone, the great wide hunter, I'll march till the dawn brings me rest. Tent, patriot, at the gallows pole. Again, you have the quoting markers at the beginning of the end. As I said in the last analysis, I believe these reflection to be quoting of someone else's sentences, or it might be Tuoma's own reflection in a journal. I think it could be the second option. I would bet on the second one. There is something very powerful said right at the beginning. The ultimate high. You know what is a high? From drugs, from maybe alcohol as well. I will have a high a high. It's this state where I am a little bit outside reality. So the soldier experienced the ultimate high in the dying of everything beautiful. Beautiful, again, it's probably a reference to the first paragraphs, the young boys that are dying and the girls, we can say also today. The beautiful dies, the ultimate high as the beautiful is being killed. This high, a ruler's tool, a priest's excuse, and a tyrant's delight. Is it the experience of the soldier only, or there is in the victory of over the adversaries a high for the ruler, the priest? Here I see religions in general. I don't think there's any precise group aimed at here like the Catholic Church, or no, I don't think so. This is more like the religious people asking for war. This is for religious wars. Tyrants delight. So here is the height of the winning side. I alone, the great white hunter. So we are leaving the level of the pleasure of killing. Now we are back at the level of the soldier's level. What is the high that the soldiers has? Now we explain a little bit the delight, the height of the those who govern us. Now let's talk about the personal level of the soldier, the great white hunter. Of course, in a war, I always have the white. The others are black. So the great white hunter, the just war. I alone, I'll march till the dawn brings me rest. I'll march in the night. I'm white. I have light in me, in a way, in darkness. The 10th patriot at the gallows pole. This line is extremely important because this is the key to the title. Again, the military march, full band, for I think 1 or 2 cycles, I don't remember. You know the chorus, I tell you again, that's the 3rd time it will come. Another time. And the last line becomes very important to understand the song. Now, we only have few measures at the end. I don't know if it's 2, 3, or 4. It's very brief and nothing to add. Everything has been said. There's nothing musically, there's nothing in terms of lyrics to add to everything that has been said already. So it finishes, the song finishes on this. It ain't my fight. In terms of music, this is the first song that I know of that could have been written by any metal band. I explain myself. It's not a bad thing. I will explain to you why I was surprised at first, but let me finish. It's when I say any metal band, it's straightforward, effective, powerful, and testosterone driven, oriented. This song, the way it is built, it's probably one of the simplest of all the songs of Nightwish in terms of arrangement, but there's a reason. Now that I know a little bit about Thomas, I have to say this is on purpose, because in the 2018 version there are changes. The quality of sound, of course, some arrangements, some choices of sound are different, but the basis is still there. The bass, the guitars, the keyboards, and sometimes even the voice, everybody plays exactly the same thing. I will explain what it induced to me. It seems to me that the song is really a musical transposition of the unity of a military unit, of an army. Everyone is on the same pace, goes in the same direction. So what it has in simplicity, there is an improvement in effectivity in this case. So for me, there was the surprise. I recognize tools, I recognize chord progression and melodies of other songs, of the classic world of metal. So for me, it's the less typically Nightwish song I had until now, but with the exception, of course, with the female voice in a war zone, which is, I think, excellent. I find this excellent. It brings humanity to the war zone, to the set. I love the song. I didn't at first, or I was so surprised at first, but now I love it. Now, in terms of lyrics, again, there are quotations. Sometimes it seems to be propaganda from the governments or the chain of command. Sometimes they are sentences from different point of view expressed by the soldiers. I think this song gives the most part to the soldier, the better part to the soldiers. The chorus, you have lines again said by soldiers on the battlefield. Oh, in terms of lyrics, it gives the microphone to the soldiers themselves. In terms of meaning, war is always a terrible thing. This is clear from the song. The human price is very high in terms of lost lives, of psychological trauma, of broken families. There is ambivalence about war. There is not a glorification of war in any ways, but there is also there is courage. It's ambivalent. It has many point of view. It doesn't have one point of view stating something. That's it. That's the truth about war. No. I appreciate nuance in difficult topics like this one. I love nuance people. I will kill them to save my own. Of course, in saving my own, I kill someone else's own. I think there is a key here of how war does not make sense in a way. On the human level, it doesn't make sense. The 10th man, the 10th man down should be written is on the gallows pole. You know what is the gallows pole? I forgot to comment it. It's the place where you hang people. So the living soldier is only the next one. to kill, not to kill, to die. Is only the next one to die. So the 10th man down is only the next soldier to die. He's already in a situation where his death has been ordered. There is a question about, do they remember those who are back home? Do they remember still? Do they know what it does to us? Do they still remember about that? There's a question for me in the song. Now, from generation to generation, the cycle is passed on. Will it end? Why are we doing this, in fact? And I think the song is asking the question quite effectively. Why are we doing this? And for me, the key line is the last line of the chorus, repeated 4 times. This ain't my fight. This is the fight of officials, the government. It's the fight of... And back home, they are not on the battlefield. Why? Why are we there, losing our lives, killing other people? It better be a good reason. A note to end this section. Did you recognize melodies on guitar riffs from other metal classics? This is the reason why I reacted that way, is that I recognize many other songs. I've heard this song before, not the topic as such, but the guitar riffs, melodies. What do you think? Can you in your memory recognize the style and some lines of the melodies, of some melodic lines in the song? Write that down. I think we will have a great discussion about that. Next week will be our 11th Ever Dream from the album Century Child. I hope to finish Century Child before the year 2021. Reaction, not Century Child only, Century Child and Once. I think I will finish before 2021. I will have the reaction as usual on Wednesday with the chat, so be there. It was wonderful. We were over 100 this week again. With subtitles, and everything happens at 7:30 Western Europe, 1:30 Eastern North America. Friday or Saturday, the analysis of the same song will come out. Don't forget to subscribe and to push the little bell just beside so that you are notified as soon as a new video comes out. As for us right now, let us say again, it was nice having you here. And I hope you enjoyed spending half an hour with me to discuss a great song. So for now, bye-bye. See you next week.